Hi everyone, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. It's the capital of British Columbia. Good to know for many of those who are planning to study and move to Canada. I hope everybody is having a fantastic weekend so far. I hope you're staying healthy and happy. Welcome, Fuang. Good to have you in the class. This is a members chat class, everybody. That means in order to be a part of the chat for this class, you need to click the join button next to the subscribe button. The next class following this class will be an all chat class, and it's good to watch both of these classes. This class is IELTS Speaking Part 2, talking about your favorite dessert. So kind of a fun cue card topic for the weekend. We can even say a delicious cue card topic for the weekend. Welcome, Chen. Welcome, Eldho. Good to see more members joining in. Students, as usual, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com for academic IELTS. That's where you want to go. And for the general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. We have some great news for you. We're continuing our awesome discount for the next couple days with Cyber Monday. Of course, as many of you know now, these are the big discount days of the year. It's Black Friday, that's the physical version, and then the virtual version is Cyber Monday. So we kind of participate in both like many other companies do. What that means is you can use this code CBN to get a 30% discount. That's the Cyber Monday discount. And you get a 15-minute speaking interview with me. We will start scheduling those interviews today for Cyber Monday and Black Friday. So Romelia, I see that you just joined in, which is good because you will be happy to hear that we are going to schedule these 15-minute speaking interviews. So pay attention to those emails coming into your email accounts over the next few hours. Let me just show everybody what we're talking about here real quick. So this is our academic IELTS website here. We will use this website today to interact with our viewers. To join the premium package, you click this big red button that's just above my head there. And once you do that, then you will see the checkout form. And then you click on the use coupon code. Make sure you do that. And then CB for Cyber and MN for Monday. You click continue and you'll get that 30% discount. We will see your payment and your email, and we will send you an email to schedule your 15-minute speaking session. So it's as simple as that. And then you will be en route to getting a great score on your IELTS exam. For general IELTS, it's this website here. We are an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. I'm a certified British Council agent. We help thousands of students with our videos and course materials every single day. So check it out. Now is a great time to join. And of course, you can get our apps. Just keep in mind that the discount is only available on the website, but the app will link to the website. Okay, so Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help, those are the apps. Check them out in your app stores. And if you have questions, don't be shy. Just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com and admin@aehelp.com. We like getting emails. We like helping you with your questions about IELTS, English, registration for university. Even if you have some immigration questions, we're happy to help you with those. Okay, students. So keeping in mind here, daylight savings started at the beginning of November 6th. That's why our classes are 1 hour later. Because it's quite early here in my neck of the woods. It's an idiom, which means the place where I live. My neck of the woods. It's just 5:35. Okay. All right, I see that Romelia is set to get that Band 8. All right, hi Mal. It's good to have you here. Okay. Students, after this class, as I said, we have speaking part 3. It's really good to stay in this class. Why? Because speaking part 3 continues from speaking part 2. So whatever the topic is of speaking part 2, and it's your favorite dessert, so it's a fun one. Dessert, of course, means sweets, cakes, cookies, all of those delicious foods, especially if you have a sweet tooth. That's another expression or idiom. If you have a sweet tooth, it means you love to eat chocolate and other sweet, delicious treats. Okay, students, tomorrow we've got a Discord class for you. Discord is a special app that was created by gamers, but now it's used by communities of like-minded or common interest students. We are partners with IELTS Prep. It's the largest Discord IELTS group of students. There are over 9,000 members of that, and they're a great bunch. So to join that class, it will be a full speaking session, and there's the link in the chat. It's a free class. All you need to do is get Discord, which is also free, and then take part of that. It's a great community to join. If you are doing IELTS, it's a smart idea to join them. It's absolutely free, and it's students, so it's not a company. It's not a it's not a sales pitch. It's actually like a massive study group of IELTS. Okay, then as usual, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, no classes, and we're back December 1st, coming into the last month of the year. I'll be starting the live sessions on the 1st with speaking part 1, and that will be available for everybody to join the chat. So lots of goodies, lots of help, take advantage. We just released a new video 35 minutes ago. Hopefully some of you watched that before the class. There was a really good part 2 there about joining a cricket club. Did anybody see it, members? Anybody check that out before this class just to kind of warm up your speaking? It's got subtitles, hard-coded, so they're accurate. And practice repeating that. He's an interesting character. He's got a unique kind of diction, but definitely a band 9 level diction. He's definitely a very high level speaker of English. In fact, he works at an English speaking bank, so he's a fantastic person. All right, so with all of that kind of administrative business out of the way, let's get into our IELTS speaking part 2 cue card. Okay, so for those of you who are kind of new to IELTS speaking, the speaking interview is 12 to 15 minutes. Technically, I mean, they say it's 15 minutes, but I think often it's a little bit less, just because they need time to set up for the next candidates. There's so many people applying, so I think it's usually closer to 12 minutes, your speaking interview. But regardless, there's speaking part 1, introductions, general questions on hobbies, sports you play. And then eventually the examiner says, after about 5 minutes, that is the end of part 1. We will now continue with part 2. For this part, I will show you some questions. You will have 1 minute to read these. Think about your answers. Then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak. I will tell you when to start, when to stop. You can take notes in the 1 minute preparation time if you wish. Talk about your favorite dessert. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Step 1. Read the questions carefully. Okay, sometimes students rush through reading the questions. It's a big problem. It's an easy way to talk off topic or to miss questions. If you talk off topic, if you start talking about favorite desserts people really like, oh, most people really like chocolate chip cookies, you will get a low band score because this question is asking about your favorite dessert, okay, not people's favorite dessert. So you have to be direct. You have to answer the questions clearly. So pay attention to them, okay? So read the questions carefully, all right? Pay a special attention to, that's interesting, all right. Pay special attention to the topic question. In fact, it's a good idea to read it twice. Okay? What I mean by that is talk about your favorite dessert, okay? So you really need to make sure that you're answering that clearly. So you're not talking about people's favorite dessert, or you're not talking about your dad's favorite dessert. You're not talking about the desserts you like, okay? So don't start by saying, well, there are a lot of desserts that I really enjoy, like chocolate cake, cookies, cupcakes, jelly beans. No, okay? It's your favorite dessert. It's one dessert, okay? It's your favorite one. And if you don't have one, pick one, okay? And we'll talk about that, how to pick a good one, okay? If you don't like sweets, don't say that, okay? Don't say, oh, I don't really like sweet things, so instead I'm going to talk about eating chips. I really like salty chips. No, okay? The question's not asking about salty chips. If you don't like sweet food, just pick one and talk about it. My favorite sweets, my favorite dessert is chocolate chip cookies, okay? So you have to answer that question directly, whether you like desserts or don't like desserts, or whether you don't have a favorite dessert, you like them all, pick one, okay? Mal says, how? I have so many. Mal, we'll talk about that in just a moment, okay? So pay special attention to the question topic and answer it directly, okay? So, yep. Answer the question directly, even if you have lots of favorite desserts or don't have any, you still need to pick one. Okay? All right. So let's read these questions. Very important. Like I said, read the topic question 2 times. Okay, so talk about your favorite dessert. Talk about your favorite dessert. What is it? Where do you eat it? When do you especially like eating it? What do other people think about it? Why do you like this dessert more than others? You will have 1 to 2 minutes to talk about this topic. You will have 1 minute to prepare what you're going to say. And of course, your next step is to prepare what you are going to say. So first of all, identify the category. So as I've said in previous classes with speaking part 2, you can categorize the cue cards into basically 5 categories, okay? People, places, objects, events, and ideas. So people would be like, talk about your favorite TV personality, or places would be like, talk about a place where you go to learn, okay? What category is this one? All right, what category is this one? I see Joao has already picked out fruit salad. Raquea, if you have many, you need to think about what that is. Fuang says it's an object, and Chen agrees. Absolutely it is. A dessert is an object. You look at it, you touch it, it's not alive. Hopefully nobody has a living kind of dessert. It's an object, right? So an object. And when you talk about an object, everybody, it's definitely an object. And it's really important to do this, all right? So it's really important to identify the category. When you talk about an object, what basic information do you need to include so that it's clear, understandable, structured, makes sense for your listener, your examiner? So what do you include when you talk about an object? And the order matters. So it's important what order you're talking about it. Yeah, Chen Fuang, very good. You're paying attention in the classes. So firstly, you talk about the appearance, right? So what does this object look like? Okay. Romelia says, is it tasty? Well, clearly if it's your favorite dessert, right? So its appearance. And then Fuang says you should talk about its origin, and Chen agrees. Exactly. So where does it come from? Where does this sweet come from? Does it come from your kitchen? Does it come from a bakery? Does it come from a confectionery, right? That's specifically a sweet shop, right? Okay. Origin. Chen says purpose of the object. Sure. Okay. Yeah, purpose. We talk about what else? It's usage, right? So purpose and usage are the same. Function of this. Now that's going to be a bit weird with a dessert, but there is something to say. Okay, so appearance, origin, function. So how do you use it? Okay, what do you do with it? All right, ice cream, for example, you keep it frozen, but maybe you like an ice cream float. Anybody know what an ice cream float is? Here's a tricky question. Cultural question. I'm not sure if this exists in a lot of cultures, but it does in the US and Canada. Anybody know what an ice cream, and in the UK as well. Romelia, purpose, indulge yourself, a guilty pleasure. Absolutely. You're missing the L, Romelia, from guilty, but yes. So what is an ice cream float? Anybody know that kind of dessert? It's just to show you an example of function. So how do you actually use it, right? Use it in this case for desserts could be how do you make it, right? Anybody know? And don't cheat, no Googling. Ice cream float, what is it? Google, tell me. It's frozen, Raquia. Okay. Some of you are probably going to go, ew, what is that? It's when you put a scoop of ice cream into pop. A scoop of ice cream in pop, like Coca-Cola. You're going to think these North Americans are really crazy. Or cherry pop. All right. Okay. So that's what it is. You paste it, and it's not sorbet. Usually it's ice cream, like vanilla ice cream. You take a scoop of vanilla ice cream and you put it into a cup full of Coca-Cola or cherry pop. Okay. Yeah. So Joao, pop. Good question. So Joao's like, what is pop? Pop is flavored soda. Okay, soda is flat carbonated water, and pop is when you make it sweet and tasty like Coca-Cola. Okay, Kennel says, oh yes, I tried it with Fanta. Very good. How'd you like it, Kennel? Did you like it? Was it good? Is it your favorite dessert? All right, let me know. Okay, so back to this object, right? So talking about an object, appearance, origin, function, purpose, and experience, right? So what's your experience with that object, right? Okay. Kendall says, it was amazing. All right. Now there's a lot of you that are going to run out and try it. I'm not a big fan of floats, but yeah, some people really like them. For me, it's just a bit on the sweet side. All right. So that's step 2. Okay. Step 2 is to identify the category. So what category of speech is it? That will help you a lot. And then order what you have to talk about. So first is appearance. Second is origin. And this matters, okay? Third is function. 4 is purpose. Okay? And 5 is experience. All right. So let's go to the next. Well, actually, before we go to the next step, there's another really good part to this second step is identify the tense that you should be using. So what do you think, students, for this cue card? So talk about your favorite dessert. Where do you eat it? When do you especially like eating it? What do other people think about it? Why do you like this dessert more than others? What do you think? What's the tense here? Okay, Chayani says past tense. Joao says more present tense. Chen says more the present tense. Yeah, I agree with Joao and Chen. Chayani, it's more the present perfect, Fuang, absolutely. Notice the questions. The questions give you the answers. So when do, you like? What do other people? Why do you? Okay, so it's all not did or will do, but do. So it's asking you in the present. Talk about your favorite dessert. It's your favorite dessert now, right? So you're using mostly present and present perfect. Because you have liked it, it means you liked it in the past. You like it now, you will like it in the future. So present perfect is really good as well. Okay, what's my third step, everybody? This is a really important one, and I want you to remember this. So I want to ask you first, members, what is the third step? It's so important to take this step. What is it? What's the third step? Very, very important step in getting a good band score. Extremely important. Okay. What is it? What do I do for step 3? Fuang, it's not my first sentence yet. I'm way off my first sentence. Romelia says, call it by name. That's kind of where we're going, Romelia, soon. I see Mal retracted. Lamia says some ideas. Yeah, Lamia, you're right. Absolutely. So think of 2 or 3 good ideas and pick the best one. Easiest to talk about, lots of information, and a bit unique. Okay, so with desserts, especially, I saw some of you said, well, I have many favorite desserts, right? So you want to pick one then that's easy to talk about, that you know you can talk about fairly easily. Pick one that is going to be unique, so a little bit different. So don't say my favorite dessert is chocolate, or my favorite dessert is ice cream. My favorite dessert is, what's another really common one? Chocolate, ice cream, or something very general like cake. Okay, there are so many different kinds of cake, so you should not say cake. Now, if you say chocolate cake, then hey, yeah, you've got a unique answer. Or if you say strawberry and vanilla ice cream, then yeah, it's better. But if you just say ice cream, it's not unique, it's general. I wouldn't pick it, okay? Absolutely. No need to apologize, Fuang. Just keep in mind those 2 to 3 ideas. So give me some ideas for dessert, members. What are some favorite desserts of people around the world that are somewhat unique? It doesn't have to be extremely special. Like, you don't have to come up with a dessert that's like, oh, nobody even knows about it. It's hard to talk about, right? Especially your examiner has no idea what it is. They'll be like, okay, I hope you really do a good job explaining this. So don't pick something that's very common. Don't pick anything that's very unique either. Pick something that most people kind of know about, but it's maybe not their first idea. Okay, Karina says brownies cake. Karina, be very careful with what you choose. We don't usually say brownies cake. We just say brownies. And in fact, it's one of my favorites as well. Okay, so brownies. We don't say cake though. Careful. The examiner will pick that out immediately. They'll be like, oh, you should know that we don't call them brownies cakes, even though they kind of are. We just call them brownies. Okay. Ooh, Retha coming out hard. The macaron, French dessert. One of the best out there, no questions about it. One of the most expensive too. Chayani says seaweed jelly. Now that's something I haven't had, but I can imagine it. Okay. Macaron, interesting one. If you can talk about that, then it's a good one. They're difficult to make. They're very delicate and elegant. Absolutely. Joao, pineapple mousse. Ooh, sounds delicious. You guys are all going to make me really hungry. I'm going to go raid the fridge after this class and eat anything that's sweet out of it. All right, pineapple mousse. Yeah, very good. So if I come back for next class and then you see like sugar all over my face before we do the speaking part 3, it's your fault. Okay, pineapple mousse. Chen's drooling. Anybody else? Strawberry cheesecake, Limmy. I think I did a video with that. That's definitely one of my favorites. Okay. So strawberry cheesecake, sure. Yeah, that's a crowd favorite, no questions. Strawberry cheesecake. Okay. Ooh, yes, Mal, I had that one in my head when I was talking about ice cream. Sundae ice cream, or also a banana split. Anybody know what a banana split is? It's when you take a piece of banana, you cut it in half, you put ice cream between the banana, and then you drizzle it with like strawberry and chocolate sauce, right? Aldho says, come on, guys, let's not forget the classic, the chocolate chip cookies. All right, so obviously you've got a lot of good ideas, right? We're going to stop there. We don't want to get out of hand, right? So sometimes you'll get a topic like this where, you know, it's your favorite dessert and you realize, oh, there's so many. And I know a lot of these. Like, I can see that a lot of you are having a lot of ideas. Limit yourself, okay? Don't waste too much of your 1 minute preparation time of thinking of too many ideas. So don't go that direction either. 2 or 3, okay? Once you've got 2 or 3, you should have one where you're like, okay, that's going to be a good one to talk about. The one that I came up with, which is definitely one of my favorites. I mean, it's hard for me to say which is my favorite. I love macarons, for example. But I'm going to go with one that, you know, is I think kind of a fun one to talk about. And nobody's come up with this one. Chocolate fondue with fruits and cheese. I haven't done that in a long time, but now that I'm talking about it, I probably will. It's definitely an amazing dessert. Absolutely. Okay. And for me, this one particularly, if I think about the questions on the card, there's just a lot of good information that I can answer for those questions with this chocolate fondue with fruits and cheese. Anybody know what chocolate fondue with fruits and cheese is? Ma says it's a winner dessert. Anybody know what that is? It's kind of original and it's unique, right? So think about when we're talking about description, function, usage. There's just a lot that goes on with this dessert, right? Okay, so now I take my notes, right? Kennel, you're about to discover something amazing if you're hearing about it for the first time. Okay, so notes, appearance. Okay, so what does it look like, right? Dewey says, I've got no idea, but it sounds weird. Chen says, sounds delicious. Yeah, it was maybe the most popular dessert, I think, in like the 1960s and 1970s in North America. And you're going to discover why here soon. So it will be kind of a cultural education in some sense as well. It's a bowl of melted. Now, when you're taking the notes, keep them short, okay? Bowl of melted chocolate over a candle to keep it melted. Little forks. Use tiny little forks for this dessert. Okay. And then a bowl of fruits and cheeses. Okay. So as long as I have these ideas, I'm fine. Okay. All right. So I'm kind of going to give you, because it's a new kind of dessert for many of you, I'll show you the notes. And I would shorten these. So in the actual IELTS, I'd go bowl, melted chocolate, candle, little fork, fruits, cheeses. Okay. So I would do it quickly, right? So I can do it within the 1 minute preparation time. Okay. Origin. Made at home. It's usually not something you can buy at stores. So ingredients from stores, usually from delicatessens. Delicatessens are specialty stores that deal with very high quality food, and we'll get that going when we talk here, when we discuss it. Okay. All right. Okay. Fennel, good luck on your exam on the 3rd. Okay. Delicatessens, it comes from French, I believe. It's a really good word to know. So if this word is new for you, then definitely learn it, because when you're traveling to other countries, if you want to try the best kinds of foods in that country or the countries that are close to that country, you want to go to delicatessens. They're the most expensive food stores. They're little stores, but they have the best wines, the best cheeses, the best olives. So if you visit another city like Paris or Rome or Sicily, and you type in delicatessen into your Google Maps, it will show you where they are, and guarantee you will find some incredible foods. So ingredients from stores, delicatessens, and made at home. Okay, that's the origin, right? And then after the origin, we go into function. So what you do, right? And this is one of the reasons I kind of picked this topic of chocolate fondue. So you pick up fruit or cheese with the fork, dip into chocolate, wait to cool a bit. Don't ever, if it's your first time, I might have just saved you a little bit of a burn if you ever get invited to a fondue party. So you want to wait for it to cool a little bit. Don't eat it too fast. You'll burn your tongue, okay? So pick up fruit or cheese with the fork, dip it into the chocolate, wait to cool, and enjoy. So just think about that kind of cool cheese or cool fruit covered by warm chocolate. And that's going to be a fantastic bite of amazing. Okay, so that's the function. Function means how you do it, right? Like what you do, how you do it. Okay. All right. And the purpose. Okay. The purpose, of course, is to enjoy a delicious dessert that is both hot and cold. Now, if anybody out there knows the fondue or the custom or culture of fondue, there's another purpose of the fondue. Anybody know what that is? I kind of gave you a hint. Lamia, fondue is not a brand. It's literally the name of this dessert or food. Fondue. Okay. What is the purpose of fondue? There's a very interesting purpose. Besides enjoying a delicious dessert, of course, right? So what is that? Yeah, Dewey, it's kind of like eating a hot pot. You're absolutely right, in the dessert form. So what is the purpose of the hot pot, Dewey? So you're very good, very clever, Dewey. You made a good connection there between a hot pot and a fondue. Fondue is kind of like the dessert version of a hot pot, yeah. I wouldn't dip seafood into fondue, Chayani. That would be a little bit strange. The purpose of it isn't necessarily for selling chocolate, Mal. There's a different purpose here. Think beyond the food. What do you think? Anybody put two? Let me. Okay, so Romelia says maybe a special event, a wedding or a date or something like that. Let me give you a hint. It usually fondue sets, because you have a fondue set. It's a special kind of cutlery and bowl. Usually comes with 6 forks. You don't buy fondue sets with 1 fork. They come with at least 4, and sometimes even more. They'll come with like 8 or 10 forks. So what do you think? With that hint, you should be, yeah, exactly, Dewey. Of course, you put that together. So it's a social meal, okay? And people do fondue parties where they invite their friends, and then they're like, fondue party, and they sit around the table. Everyone has their little fork, and then away they go. And it's kind of funny because it's really delicious. So people will start to eat it faster and faster, and they forget that it's really hot. So they start to fight for the last piece of cheese, even though their mouths are burning. Quite the fondue action. A lot of fun. Okay. Yeah, it's for social events, okay? An experience. Both fun for the soul, body, and social life. That's the experience of fondue. It's more than just a dessert. I bet fondue after this class is going to have a big jump in popularity again. All right. So that's the experience, and it really is quite fun. Okay. So now I'm ready for that first sentence, Fuang. Let's do it. So this is step number 5, I believe, if my math is correct. Have your first sentence ready before your preparation time is up, so that you can start fluently, specifically, and with confidence, okay? So that's why you want to have that first sentence ready, okay? And Lamia says, and a spike in blood insulin. No doubt about that. Okay. That's right, Reith. We can dip cheese, and we can also dip in white chocolate. Some people really go wild and have 3 bowls. 1 dark chocolate, 1 milk chocolate, and 1 white chocolate bowl. So if you are becoming a fondue master, you'll probably have 3 sets of fondue dishes. All right, so first sentence. Let's get it ready. Write your first sentence, members. We'll do fondue. However, when you practice with me through the website, you can do whatever dessert you wish. So while I'm talking, while we're developing this Band 9 answer to the Part 2 cue card, talk about your favorite dessert. Okay, keep in mind, talk about your favorite dessert. You can also develop your notes for your favorite dessert. So if you're like, I'm going to volunteer and I'm going to talk about pineapple mousse, or I'm going to talk about seaweed jelly, then take notes, develop them the same way, okay? All right, here we go. So my first sentence, my all-time favorite dessert is definitely chocolate fondue with fruits and cheeses. Notice the plurals, okay? Boom, direct answer, all right? That's how you want to answer it, okay? My all-time favorite dessert is definitely chocolate fondue with fruits and cheeses. Make sure to repeat me, students. This is speaking, so repeat, copy me. My all-time favorite dessert is definitely chocolate fondue with fruits and cheeses. You could replace that with whatever dessert your favorite is. Next comes the description, right? This dessert has special utensils and a bowl which sits on top of a candle. I place the chocolate into the bowl to melt and stay liquid and warm. Then on 2 separate plates, I place fruits like bananas. I'm going to go with kind of the popular ones here, but you can try any fruit. Bananas and strawberries. And on the other plate, cheeses like cheddar and brie. Using the little forks, me, my friends, or family pick up the fruit or cheese and dip it into the hot chocolate for a delicious Bite of heaven. Okay, that's a common expression when talking about sweets. Delicious. Okay, bite of heaven. Okay, so notice, it's nothing crazy fancy that I'm doing here. All I'm doing is following the steps of appearance. Now, obviously, you realize that I probably missed the origin, right? So we really do have to pay attention. Now, I could put the origin in now, but it's definitely a bit awkward at this point. So I should have paid a little bit more attention and put it in at the beginning. Okay, so all right, the dessert has special utensils and a bowl which sits on top of a candle and can be bought in some specialty stores or ordered online. The ingredients I purchase from the local market and delicatessen. Okay, it's important to have good quality organic fruits and top of the line chocolate from Belgium. If you have the chance, buy Belgium chocolate, no question about it, or Swiss chocolate, one of those fancy, delicious chocolates. Okay. Bakrat writes, one of my favorite desserts that I always wanted on wedding receptions or birthday parties is definitely gulab jamun. That is completely new for me, Bakrat, so you'll have to explain what that is. Okay. All right. Dewey says, actually, with what you've described, I think I ate a similar type of dessert. If it's similar, it's probably fondue, Dewey. Fondue, I believe, is quite popular in France as well, and I know that's where you are at the moment. So there's definitely a good chance. Okay. All right, Fuang Rakuya, I see that you're getting ready with your own first sentences. That's awesome. All right, we're going to practice speaking here in just a moment with all of our members, so keep that in mind, okay? All right. So good, now it's better. Okay, now it's making more sense because I've included the origin. So now the person has an idea of what's going on. The dessert, so I always prepare this dessert at home. Okay, it's not really possible to buy fondue, and there's not really a lot of restaurants these days that serve fondue. It's kind of a risky dessert for obvious reasons. You're using a candle and heat, and most restaurants probably don't want their customers to either burn themselves or burn the restaurant. So it's kind of like a home dessert. Okay, all right. So the purpose of this dessert is not only to have a sinfully, here's another expression for you, Romelia, I know you really like these, sinfully delicious treat, but also to share with others in a social setting. In fact, I have a fondue party at my home at least once every couple of months with my friends. I invite them over for some appetizers, and then we follow it up with board games and fondue. So I love this dessert, not only for the unique texture and taste, but also for facilitating social gatherings and lots of fun. Okay. All right. And at that point, my time is most likely up. All right. So have a look at this with me, members. And then based on this, now, am I done? So is this good? Am I finished? Yes or no? What do you think? Before I read this, am I done? Have I... Rice pudding is also good. Am I finished? Did I do a good job? Am I going to get a band 9 for this response on the IELTS exam? What do you think? Chayani says thumbs up. Raquia says yeah. Romelia says I'd add a conclusion. Okay, possible. Yeah, Fuang, very smart. That's what I was looking for. I was really hoping somebody... Yes, Chan, very smart. I was hoping at least a couple of you would say that. Let's check the card. Okay. And you should actually be doing that while you're speaking. So what is it? Where do you eat it? When do you especially like eating it? What do other people think about it? Why do you like this dessert more than others? It seems like I've answered most of these. I might target this question. What do other people think about it? Okay. Also, and I can probably combine that with my last sentence. So without a doubt, myself and others feel that chocolate fondue is a crowd favorite. Okay, and that could be my concluding sentence as well. I'm using lots of expressions and natural English in this response, so pick those out, copy it down. Here we go, students. Let's go over it, okay? And either read with me or just copy. My all-time favorite dessert is definitely chocolate fondue with fruits and cheeses. This dessert has special utensils and a bowl which sits on top of a candle and can be bought in some specialty cooking stores or ordered online. The ingredients I purchase from the local market and delicatessen. It's important to have good quality organic fruits and top of the line chocolate from Belgium. I always prepare this dessert at home. I place the chocolate into the bowl to melt and stay liquid and warm. Then on 2 separate plates, I place fruits like bananas and strawberries, and on the other plate, cheeses like cheddar and brie. Using the little forks, me and my friends or family pick up the fruit or cheese and dip it into the hot chocolate for a delicious bite of heaven. The purpose of this dessert is not only to have a sinfully delicious treat, but also to share with others in a social setting. In fact, I have a fondue party at my home at least once every couple of months with my friends. I invite them over for some appetizers, and then we follow it up with board games and fondue. So I love this dessert not only for the unique texture and taste, but also for facilitating social gathering and lots of fun. So without a doubt, myself and others feel that a chocolate fondue is a crowd favorite. That is a band 9 for sure. No, Kennel, unfortunately that's bad advice. The questions are not just there to guide you. They're very specific questions, okay? You have to talk and you have to answer the questions on the cue card. The examiner, I'm not sure where IELTS Advantage got that from, I'll be honest with you. We've done some work with them before, but they're not just there to guide you, not at all. Okay, if you do not answer the questions on the cue card, you will not be able to get full marks. We know this for a fact because we know that IELTS examiners literally on their sheet are checking off when they hear the answers to the questions. So they're not just there to guide you. Absolutely not. Okay, your best bet to get the highest mark is to answer all the questions on the card. And if you pay attention to those cue cards, Kennel, it's a good question, and I don't like it when people are misled. So when you pay attention to those questions on the card, there's usually one question, it's usually the last 1 or 2 questions on the card that are kind of unique, right? The reason for that is because the IELTS examiners want to make sure that the candidates are not just using some kind of memorized information. And so there's always one or two unique questions on the card, which are not just as simple as describe it or where do you get it, but it's something more specific like what do other people think about this dessert, right? That's a very unique question. There's a reason that's on the card. It's not by accident, okay? They're checking to see. Now, Eldho is asking, do I have to answer it in order? No, you don't, okay? The order does not matter, but answering the questions does matter, all right? So the order doesn't, but answering them does. All right, very good questions, by the way, both of those. All right, so these two questions, they were really great questions. So you must answer all the questions on the card clearly to get full marks. But you do not have to answer them in the order of the card. In fact, it's often a bad idea to try to answer them in the same order because it's hard to have clear structure, okay? So you'll notice that. It's sometimes awkward and confusing to answer the questions in the order that they are on the card. So be careful. So you don't want to do this, students, and this is a really good question, and I haven't talked about it too much in the past, but you don't want to do this like, what is it? Okay, it's chocolate fondue. My favorite dessert is chocolate fondue with fruits and cheeses. Where do you eat it? I eat this at home with my friends and family. When do you especially like eating it? I specifically like eating this after having a big meal or during the evenings for social gatherings. What do other people think? Many people also really enjoy a chocolate fondue because, hey, everybody loves chocolate. So it kind of makes sense and it's understandable, but it's kind of like awkward, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So you do want to answer all of them, but not necessary to answer in that order, okay? And the proof is in the pudding, students. I've sat the IELTS exam multiple times before. I always get band 9 for the speaking. So there's your proof. You can even see that video on our channel, okay? All right, so that's talking about my favorite dessert for this response, the chocolate fondue. Now I'm sincerely looking forward to hearing about your favorite dessert with these cue card questions. So we're jumping over to the website, okay? Okay, and on the website, log in, okay? For those of you watching, you're going to do this next class. If you're not a member as well, you will have this chance. So use those two buttons. The red one is the paid version. The green one is the free version. Either one is okay for getting into the student chat. Although with the Black Friday discount, which expires today, and the Cyber Monday discount, which we just started, you get 30% and a 15-minute speaking interview. So definitely a good time to purchase. Go to the My Student account, and then in the My Student account, click on Student Partner Speaking, okay? So Student Partner Speaking, click on it. All right. And then once you're in the Student Partner Speaking, you will have a chance to volunteer. And I can see we have Chayani, Bakrat, Fuang, Ramelia, Raquia, Eldho in here already. Zoraida, I see that you're in here as well. If you're a member, let me know in the chat. Zoraida, I can't remember if you are or not, so send me a message, okay? All right, let's start with Chayani today, okay? So Chayani, are you ready? And I'm going to put on my ears. Chayani says, no, sir, later. Fair enough. I like honesty. We'll reach out to Bakrat, who's just above Chayani here. All right, Bakrat, are you ready? Okay, let's see if Bakrat is with us. Bakrat says yes. All right, Bakrat. I haven't heard from you in a while, so I'm looking forward to it. Hi,
Hello.
Bakrat. Hi.
Hello. Hi. How
How
are
are
you?
you? I'm good, thank you. How are you doing? It's good to hear your voice. I haven't heard it in a while.
Uh, yeah, I'm doing great. I'm good. Uh,
Nice.
my exam is on 20th of November.
Your exam is on the 20th of December?
November, just 2 day after.
Oh, 28th. Okay, because we're on the
Yeah,
26th, right? I thought you said 20th, so 28th. So in 2 days.
in
Ooh,
two
some
days.
last minute studies, Bakrat. Well, first of all, good luck on your upcoming exam. I hope you do well. If you have questions, you can always email too, okay?
Yeah, sure.
All right, Bakrat. So let's get into this, okay? I'll bring the cue card back up on the screen, and then I'll start you off whenever you're ready. Begin your response, okay? So here we go. So that is the end of part one. We will now continue with part two. For this part, I will show you some questions on a card, and you will have 1 minute to prepare and 1 to 2 minutes to speak. Talk about your favorite dessert. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
Okay. One of my favorite dessert that I always want to eat on wedding receptions or birthday parties is definitely gulab jamun. Gulab jamun, also known as roseberry in foreign countries. Uh, Roseberry is made of using kava, that is milk. It is soft and solid, dunked into the rose flavored sugar syrup. The recipe of making roseberry is not a piece of cake, but it required 4 to 5 hours. I mostly like it homemade of gulab jamun because a few of shopkeepers use milk powder, which lacks taste. My mom handmade gulab jamun tastes out of the world, and also like it. There's other than there are also sweet shops in the supermarket. I tend to visit on weekend to have a taste of it when I'm not home. I think gulab jamun is not popular in India, but also some other country as well with the other name. And uh, I think people in India tend to eat gulab jamun more than other sweets because its taste different than other sweets. And I think people love to eat their own sweets, but gulab jamun is one of them. Like most of the elder people suggest their
Okay,
grandchildren
your time is
children.
up. I will stop you there. I wasn't actually looking at, I think it might have been a little bit more than 2 minutes, but they'll definitely stop you at around that time. Okay, Bakrat, that was good. Your English has really come a long way since I first heard you and first saw your work. So first of all, congratulations on improving so much over the course of how long has it been, Bakrat, since you first started in these live classes?
Well, I joined you when I'm in third year in my college years.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pass out. So it's been 1 year. Yeah.
About a year, right? That's what I was thinking. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you've certainly improved. I think you were closer to the 5.5 range when you started, and that was definitely a 7 level response. Your speech is a bit slow and methodical. It means that I can tell you're really thinking. All of your brain cells are working hard to focus on structure and accuracy and grammar, and your accuracy has really improved. You want
Mhm.
to improve your fluency now for sure. So you want to kind of, speed up your fluency, but I would consider you fluent. So you're not speaking quickly, but you're still fluent, so you're not stopping. You're going and going and going, and I can tell that you're really thinking about what you want to say so that it makes sense, not only grammatically but also the content. So I would say that your response is a solid 7. If it were a little bit faster, it would probably be an 8. Okay, so you're
Uh,
losing
I
about a band
tend
score.
to make mistakes like when I try to, speak fluently. And sometimes I get out of the topic, so I try to, you know,
Yeah, and that's
answer
better.
it slowly.
Bakrat, that's a better approach. So you're taking the smart route, okay? It's worse to speak really fast but go off topic and make lots of mistakes. So if you increase your speed by, let's say, 30%, but you make a lot more mistakes and you go off topic, you will get a lower score. You'll get a band 6 or maybe even a 5.5. So your choice to speak a little bit slower but more accurately with a lot of clear content is actually increasing your band score. So stay with this approach, okay, when you're doing your IELTS
Okay.
exam. So definitely you're choosing the correct path with a little bit slower but much more accurate, okay? Overall, that was quite good. So you said, okay, this is kind of for everybody. I hear this often, this okay beginning. Try to get rid of that. So try to not say okay. I know it's because it's a live class, but people do this in the real exam too. When the examiner says, please begin, people go, okay. And it's kind of like, ugh. Just start directly. Like one of
Like
my favorite desserts.
instead of using such type of words, okay, well, like
It's
what
okay
word
to
can
do
be?
that. No, it's okay to say okay and well, but don't start with the okay. It's just kind of weird to start with like the okay. It's like, I'll just go with it. One of my favorite desserts that I always want to eat at birthdays and weddings is I didn't get the spelling of the name of the dessert, but I clearly understood, and this was quite amazing, Bakrat, and I'm sure everybody will agree with this, that even though I'm not familiar with this dessert that you're talking about, it was clear for me what it is. So it was clear for me that it's a type of milk dessert with this sweet rose syrup type flavor, which was, and it's a soft kind of gooey, mushy type of texture. So it was very clear for me, and it definitely has an interesting um, uh, kind of flavor, sounding flavor to it. Okay, so overall it was very good. All right, overall it was very good. So keep it up, Bakrat. I think you'll do just fantastic on your exam. When you do your exam on the 28th, please send me an email and let me know how you did. I'm really
Yeah,
curious. Okay.
definitely. Like I have one question. One question, one questions.
One
So,
question. Yeah, the correct. You
yeah, one
corrected
question.
it. One question. Yeah.
So, when I go, like, when I'm answering the question from part one and then go to the part two, my fluency somewhat like quite good. Like, I able to score around 7. So when I answer it for the part three questions, I lack ideas.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so I mean that's typical, right? Part 3 is technically the most challenging to understand the questions and to answer the questions. So what you should do over the next 2 days before your exam is just really focus a lot on part 3 and practice it as much as possible. The other tip, Bakrat, for part 3, and of course next class we're doing part 3, so you will see this. Keep in mind that even though the part 3 questions seem very specific and kind of challenging, um, most of them can be answered by thinking about the major topics of humanity. Okay, and I'm sure I'll talk a little bit more about this next class as well. So, if you think about like education, environment, technology, then those kind of mainstream thoughts of humanity will answer most of those questions in some way. So you don't have to think about like a unique specific, because those questions are not just in India. They ask the same questions in Japan, in Brazil. So anybody from India, from Brazil, or from Japan should be able to answer those questions. So they're not going to be specific to your culture. Do you get what I'm saying? So it'll be something that all
yeah, yeah,
humans can kind of figure out. So think about that,
like,
okay?
like, like, do you prefer to read one's model answers like about these topics?
Yeah, it is. It's a good idea to do a little bit of reading about the general concepts, like what are the major issues of the environment, right? So, deforestation, global warming, pollution, land pollution. So, these are kind of the main. So, as long as you think about these main concepts around each of these areas, right? Technology is AI and internet and so forth. So, when you think about these, then often one of these will answer those part three questions, okay?
Yeah, correct.
Got it. All right, Bakrat, good questions. And keep up the good studies and let me know, okay? Let me know how you did, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye, Bakrat. Let's give Bakrat not only a thumbs up, but maybe send him a good luck on your exam. Give him some positive vibes. All right. Fuang, I think we haven't heard from you in a little bit, so let's give you a chance. Fuang, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Kennel, I see you in there as well. Chayani, Joao, I don't see you. All right, Fawn. There's the thumbs up. Thank you for that, everybody. There's the thumbs up.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Fuang. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
I'm doing better today. Better today than yesterday, which makes me happy. I don't think I'm good enough yet to fill my face with dessert, but hopefully very soon. Eating desserts when somebody's sick is not a good idea. So, all right, Phuong, Vietnam has some pretty good desserts, right?
Yes, sir.
All right,
Yes.
I've had some. That's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm curious what you're going to answer. So, are you ready? Can I start you off?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. So your 1 minute preparation time is up. Talk about your favorite dessert.
I'm a big fan of cupcake, which is my most favorite dishes that I want to talk about today. A cupcake is a small cake which may be baked in a small tin paper or a medium cup. A standard cupcake uses the same basic ingredients as standard size cake: butter, sugar, eggs, flour. They may be filled with frosting, fruit, or packaged cream. Cupcakes are made for one individual, so my friend and I pick up the small cupcake and enjoy it for a delicious bite of heaven. Um, on the weekend, I usually hang out and have a delicious meal combined with cupcake with my friend or my family at the Mimi Chinese restaurant, which is a couple blocks from my apartment, and it takes me about 15 minutes to go there if the traffic congestion does not happen. Not only eating cupcake with the people I share the bond too, but I especially love to have some on rainy days with a cup of coffee by myself, so I can spend some me time watching TV series as well as recharge my battery after a hard working day. Instead of it's delicious, my friend always tell me that cookies have too much sugar, so it's easily lead to some health problem like obesity, and they advise me to consume less as possible.
Okay, your
I
time
have
is up.
fallen in love.
I will stop you there.
Okay,
All right. Okay, cookies. What kind of cookie is this that you're telling me about?
cupcake, sir. Cupcake.
Oh, cupcake. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that pronunciation, Fuang. We really got. I thought you were talking about cookies. I don't know if anybody else thought that, but cupcake, cupcake. Okay,
Cupcake.
repeat after me.
Cup
Cupcake.
cake.
Okay, the trick here, Fuang, especially when you know that pronunciation is a little bit of, one of your weaknesses, and I say that, in a polite way, but you have to identify, right? If you're like, okay, pronunciation is a bit of a challenge, then especially the subject that you're talking about, so in this case, cupcake, really overpronounce it. So just make sure that at least that subject word is 100% clear for the listener. So cup cake.
Cupcake.
Yeah. So you'd want to say something like, I'm a big fan of cupcakes. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to emphasize it like that. Native speakers will do that sometimes where we really emphasize the subject. So I'm a big fan of cupcakes. Just say that.
I'm a big fan of cupcake.
Cupcakes.
Cupcakes.
Cakes.
Cakes.
K. It's you got to do the K and S sound. So cakes.
Cakes.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And Fuang, not just for you. That's a tough one to pronounce even for native speakers sometimes. So careful what you choose, right? Make sure you're in your head, you're like, okay, I can pronounce that. Because even native speakers sometimes are like, what was that? And it's like cupcakes, right? So it's all that k. By the way, we have a word for that when you have a lot of K sounds, like k, like cupcakes. Do you know what that's called in English? All those quick K sounds? It's called a cacophony when you have cupcakes.
No, sir.
Yeah, it's like Kate loves cupcakes. This is a cacophony. It's called cacophony. It has a special name because of that difficult pronunciation. So it's called a cacophony. So you want to be careful with that. I loved your use of natural expressive English, like I'm a big fan. That was really great. I loved that start. I loved how you incorporated what I taught you just now, the delicious bite of heaven. I absolutely caught that. I heard you even kind of smile while you were saying it. One important tip is be careful not to go off topic. You included some pieces of information that weren't really related to the question. Like you said, I enjoyed at a Chinese restaurant, which is a couple of blocks from my place, and I can get there in 5 minutes depending on the traffic. It's like, we're talking about your favorite dessert. I'm not really interested in your traffic problems getting to your restaurant, right? So you have to kind of, you had a lot of good information, a lot of great vocabulary and idiomatic language, but you also had some information that was a little bit off topic in a couple of sentences there, and it, it wasn't clear. So now I get it. A standard cupcake is made with butter. Here's another question, Fong. What's your favorite cupcake?
Maybe chocolate cupcake, sir.
Right. Okay. That's what you want to focus on, because cupcakes, there's a couple very well-known cupcakes, right? Vanilla cupcake, chocolate cupcake, and strawberry cupcake are the three kind of really well-known cupcakes, right? So if I I would recommend doing this again and picking, it's like, remember what I said, like, don't just say cookie, but say chocolate chip cookie or white chocolate macadamia cookie. So you want to be a little bit more specific when you're in the world of cupcakes or donuts or cookies or cakes, because there's some very unique flavors there, right? So you want to just maybe focus on one or the other, right? Do you understand what I mean by that?
Okay, sir, I got it.
Okay, so I recommend trying it again when you have some time. Record your answer on your phone and send it to me. I'll listen to it again, okay? And then give you some feedback. Sounds good?
Okay, sir.
All right. And here's another tip. When you have a moment, type cacophonies, so popular cacophonies, into your Google search, and it will give you some example sentences like what I just said. Kate loves cupcakes, right? And then try to repeat or pronounce those cacophonies, okay? How do we spell cacophonies? I can't remember. Cacophonies, something like that. Maybe it'll help me here. No, I can't even remember how to spell that word. It's a tricky one. Cacophonies, something like that. No, but you'll have to Google it. Google will tell you the correct spelling. So type in cacophonies, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. Fluang, love the answer and love cupcakes as well. So enjoy a delicious cupcake on the weekend. You deserve it, okay?
Okay, sir. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Bye, Fluang.
Bye-bye, sir.
All right. That was a Fluang. All right. Kennel says in India we pronounce it cap cake. Yeah, it's cup because of the cup. It's shaped like a cup, and then cake, right? So cup cake. Okay, it's a tricky. Cacophonies are tricky, so be careful. All right, Romelia, are you ready? Let's see. Romelia wants to ace this, I know. So let's see what Romelia comes up with. Okay, Romelia, here we go.
Hello.
Hi, Romelia. How are you?
Okay.
All
Not
right.
bad.
Not bad. Sounds like you haven't had your favorite dessert in a while.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
when we have our
trying
favorite
to
dessert, we're always like, I'm
to
doing
resist
great.
temptation. To resist temptation.
All
And
right.
stay on the straight and narrow.
All right. Romelia, here we go. So I will start you off. Are you ready?
I'm never ready, but okay.
All right. So so talk about your favorite dessert. Your 1 minute preparation time begins now. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
My dessert of choice would always be eaten mess, which is a traditional English dessert consisting of a mixture of basically strawberries or other berries sometimes with meringue, white cream, and was mentioned for the first time in paper in the 19th century, and is originate from Eton College. Is served even nowadays, I guess, at an annual cricket match against the people of another high school, maybe Harrow School, if I'm not wrong. And this is a clear proof that it's part of British culture, basically. This dessert is a crunchy one. His aspect is amazing, and also people extol the virtue of it en masse because they consider it like being part of their culture. I usually eat it when I reach the UK because I'm trying to stick on a healthy diet. But sometimes I submit this temptation and I indulge myself an innocent treat. But as irresistible a treat as it is, I'm trying to avoid to eat it so often. And I think everybody appeals to this because I've noticed that it's a part of the meal of every British restaurant, basically.
Okay, your time is up. I'll stop you there. And we will now continue with part 3. Okay. At every British restaurant. Okay. That was good. All right, that was good. Can you tell me exactly what it's called? I get that it's a cream puff, but I couldn't catch at the very beginning. I thought you said something like apple mass. But what is it called?
Eton Mass is the name of the high school, a prestigious
Oh,
British high
okay. So
school.
it's named after the high school. So it's Eden Mass?
Eton.
Eton. Okay, I got it. Eton Mass. M-A-S-S? Something like that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got it. That's the issue when you come up with something unique, and as Canadian as I am, I'm not that familiar with this British dessert. Just the British kitchen overall is not considered the most desirable in the world. But I don't know why. I mean, there are some like Yorkshire pudding. I love Yorkshire pudding. I don't know. People I think are judgmental. Okay, so my dessert of choice is always Eton Mass, consisting of berries, meringue, and some kind of cream. I think I've actually had it. It is mentioned on paper from the 18th century. Simplify that,
Yeah.
Romelia.
Dates
So
back
exactly.
hundred
you
of
had
years
it.
ago, and that's it. Yeah.
It dates back to the 18th century. That's a little bit cleaner, more accurate, or especially because it's a little bit off topic. Like, okay,
Oh
where
my
does
God, I've never.
where does it? I get, like you said, the origin, like, and you thought like historically, where does it originate, right? Well, it's okay. You can say it dates back to the 18th century. It is served at traditionally it is served at cricket matches, because I'm guessing that's probably not where you have it mostly, right? Where do you have it, Romelia? So when you get to the UK, do you go to a restaurant to have it, or do you have it at your friend's house, or do you have it at the airport cafe as soon as you're out of the gates? So where do you actually have it?
Yeah. I've missed the detail as always. Yeah.
I think at this point you were still though a clear 7. So I don't know if I'd give you an 8, but I'd definitely give you a 7.5. I think you reached that level this time with this dessert. So just just a couple of corrections there. You had some slight like word order mistakes. Here, I corrected this. You were saying this just in a little bit of a different way, so I corrected it while you were speaking. This is a crunchy dessert with an amazing texture. Can you repeat that after me, Romelia? This is a crunchy dessert with an amazing texture.
It is a crunchy dessert with an amazing
texture.
Extra.
Texture is the
texture.
Yeah, texture. Okay. So when we talk about
I
food,
understood extra.
No.
And I was wondering what is extra. Texture.
No,
texture.
It's texture. The texture of food
texture.
is
I know the word. Texture.
Yeah. So
I'm a chemist.
I'm also telling it to the other viewers, Romelia. I know you know, but I'm telling it to the other viewers. So when we talk about food, and this is for everyone, texture is how the food feels in our mouth. So it feels crunchy, it feels soft, it feels hard. It feels
also fabric
slimy.
can have a texture, a soft texture.
Yes, although I don't suggest trying to eat a brick. But yes, so it's good. They considered as being part of the culture. I think that was a bit repetitive. You repeated that a couple of times.
Yeah, 2 times.
Yeah, so
rather than stop.
Yeah, so when you have a perfect band 9 part 2 response, usually a piece of information is only said once, so you use your time maximally, right? And you had some really nice expressions, and everybody can repeat this. I submit to temptation. I submit to temptation. That was a really good expression. So with desserts, we have lots of expressions, okay? And then you said, as irresistible treat as it is, I sometimes have it. Okay, that's good. And then here you said, it is part of the meal at every British restaurant. There's a more natural way to say that, Romelia. Now that you're looking at this the second time, what's a more natural way to say it is part of the meal at every
British pub features it in their meals? I don't know.
Don't use meals. Use something else.
Menu.
Exactly.
Appears in every British pub's menu.
Yeah, so this dessert is found on every menu, on every British pub's menu. Yeah, absolutely. So it's found on the menu at every British restaurant or at every British pub. That's the most natural way to express this. It's a part of the meal at every British restaurant. A little bit inaccurate.
Yeah,
right?
awkward. Yeah. Awkward, definitely.
So
because meal is something else, first of all. Yeah,
exactly.
Meal is something else. I know.
And not everybody's going to have it. A lot of people will, but a diabetic person won't, right? So it's like, it's a little bit off. But 7.5, it's solid, Romelia. I mean, it really does take a lot of practice.
I'll be always stuck at this band.
No, not at all. No, that's not true. Our brain is a learning machine, and especially people like you who are hardworking and passionate about what you do, I guarantee that you'll get better. You're not always going to be stuck there. So it just takes effort and time. So keep it up. Our brain is a learning machine, unlike any other. Okay, so never be pessimistic like that, Romelia. All right.
Okay.
Of course. All right, Romelia. Thanks for volunteering and sharing with us that traditional British dessert. I honestly would not have thought about it. Have a lovely day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next class.
You too.
As well.
Thank you so much.
Bye. All right, give Romelia some thumbs up. It sounds like she needs a bit of encouragement. She's very pessimistic sometimes, I think. So we gotta push Romelia. Let her know that she's doing great. All right, Raquia, I know that you're waiting here patiently, so let's do this. Raquia, are you ready? All right, if you're there. There's a lot of thumbs up for Romelia. See, Romelia? And there's Chayani even adding to it. Chayani says, love Romelia's spirit. Absolutely. You encourage me too, Romelia. It's very true. Good call, Chayani. Good call. All right, here we go.
Hello,
Hi, Raquea. How are you?
I'm great. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. Are you ready to tell us about your favorite dessert?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, I'll start you off. Here we go. It's such a delicious lesson, this one. Okay, here we go. So, talk about your favorite dessert. Your 1 minute preparation time is up. Please begin speaking.
My all-time favorite dessert is pineapple cake with fresh pineapple pieces. I mostly purchase it from my nearby cake bakes store, and sometimes I make it at home. Uh, it's uh, it's occasionally I eat it just like birthday parties and anniversaries. It's a very good time to share our celebration and happiness with our family member and our social relatives. So it's also a sign of sharing uh, our happiness. It is very delicious and it's made from some cake or cheese, or it's also decorated with fresh pineapple pieces. Uh, it's very delicious. I like it, and every mostly people like it. I think in our society because cake is mostly celebrated in birthday and anniversary parties. So it's also liked by persons of our society.
Okay. Your time is up. I will stop you there. I hear there's a little bit of noise in the background as well. Are you still with me, Raquea? You're focusing? Raquea?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, you're
No,
there.
it's
Unexpected interruption?
sorry.
That's okay, Raquea. I'm going to give you some feedback, okay? So,
Okay.
that response would be about a 5.5 to a 6. 6 on the high end, 5.5 on the low end. You're doing a good job in the sense that I understand what your favorite dessert is. So you said my all-time favorite dessert is pineapple cake with fresh pineapple slices. That was a really good start. Okay, that's why that first sentence is so important, because it starts you strong. And that was a strong start. It was very clear, connected. I understood it well. Then you continued with, I purchased this from my favorite cake store, and sometimes I make it at home, which was good. Okay. Then you said I share it with my family. And then after that, you started to confuse me a little bit, because you started to use the pronoun we and our. And this is for everybody who's watching. Be very, very careful to maintain a consistent use of pronouns. So this question is asking about your favorite dessert, where you have it, and so forth. So mostly you're using the me, I, myself. So I share it with my family. It helps me to share my happiness with others when I make it at home. So you do not want to switch to we and our, because you now suddenly include society, the examiner, and I've had some pineapple cake before, but it's a bit awkward to suddenly include me. So you need to stay with the I, me, my for this. Raquea, is that clear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I think I'm so nervous. That's why it's going to be.
that's what happens. Yeah, when people are nervous, they tend to suddenly switch up their pronouns. So instead of using the I, me, my, they start using we and us, or even you. And that starts to become awkward. So it's very important for those high bands to control those pronouns. Also, some of your grammar or information was a little bit confusing here. Like you said, because the cake is celebrated at birthdays. It's not the cake that we celebrate at birthdays, it's the individual, but we share cake at birthdays when celebrating the birthday boy or birthday girl. Okay, so we don't actually celebrate the cake. That's a little bit strange. That's like, we're all like, "How? Hey, cake." So you have to be, really careful with those coherence mistakes. Coherence mistakes cost points. Okay.
Okay.
But you had the right idea. So try to do this again. And this is for everybody. Okay. When you get corrections from others, always do it again, say it again, improve those points, and then listen to it. And that will help you to avoid those mistakes in the future. Okay, so when you have some time, Raquia, talk about the pineapple cake again, and just with better pronouns and more accurate information. Okay?
Yes, okay.
All right. Thanks for volunteering, Raquia, and I hope that you have a delicious pineapple cake very soon. Okay?
Okay, bye.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Bye, Raquia. I think she was a bit distracted there as well. Yeah, that's a good question. Romelia is asking, I don't mean to be correct. No, it's important to be correct. I have a question. Is delicious an extreme adjective? Is it correct to say very delicious? First of all, I will explain to everyone what an extreme adjective means. An extreme adjective is an adjective that's so strong, it's awkward to include very. So, for instance, a good one is critical or vital. So it's a vital piece of information. We would never say it's a very vital piece of information or a very critical piece of information. However, in spoken English, and this is where spoken English is different from written English, certain extreme adjectives like delicious, we will emphasize by saying very. So even though delicious is considered an extreme adjective, in spoken English, we very frequently will say very delicious. This is very delicious. So in writing, technically, we don't use very delicious, but in speaking, all the time, especially when we're talking about our favorite foods, okay? Because there are a lot of delicious foods, but only our favorite foods are considered very delicious, and we emphasize that in speech. So hopefully that makes sense for everyone. All right, Eldho, Zoraida, Chayani, Lola, I am out of time for this class, but I will be searching for you in the next class because I appreciate when people are studious. So definitely join me in my next class and volunteer. Students, keep in mind, we've got Cyber Monday starting off now. So on the websites, when you purchase the premium package, then make sure to use the code CBMN for a 30% discount and to get 15 minutes speaking interview with me. That will cover part 1, 2, and 3. Loads and loads of thumbs up and hearts. Fantastic job today, volunteers. A clap from me without hurting your ears, but you're awesome. Okay, that's how you do it. You just keep pushing forward and put your heart out, put your best foot forward, and keep studying, keep working at improving your English, and you do improve, okay? The brain is an improving machine as long as you practice. That's it for now. I'll be back in 30 minutes with speaking part 3. In the meantime, for sure, check out the website, aehelp.com. That's what we used in this class for interacting. We will use it again next class. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out for half an hour, but I hope to see all of you in my next class coming up again in less than half an hour. Bye for now.